So it is official, the Scottish Premier League has come to a close, and once again, Celtic are champions supreme north of the border. But what about me? What did I predict that would happen out in Scotland this season? Well, let's hop back in time and take a little look at my early door predictions. That's right, folks, back once again with another reaction video, this time looking back at my early door predictions for the 2018-2019 Premier League season up in Scotland. And we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button, keep your bang up to date with all things Scottish Premier League related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We're all here under one roof. Now, let's before we take a look at it, the results and my predictions and how it all panned out, I'm going to explain a little bit how we do this. Now, obviously, other people do these reaction kind of videos and take a look back at their predictions. So I thought I'd do it a little bit differently. Obviously, you could watch back the original video, which is linked in the description down below if you want to go and make sure there's no shady business. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop a graphic up on the screen right about now, and then we'll kick on into it and reveal bit by bit who I thought was first and foremost in 12th, all the way through to top dog itself. So let's get cracking, boys and girls, with who I actually predicted to finish in 12th. Well, it's actually got this one hot off the money, boys and girls. Dundee, that's right, boys and girls. I saw them coming in last, and guess what? They finished in last. Now, I'll tell you now, folks, the rest of these predictions, I got a couple other ones right, but realistically, it was very difficult to call. I did have my hotly tipped teams that I thought would struggle, but it's been a surprising year in Scotland for me. Into 11th spot it was for me. I thought it would be Livingston, but they actually finished in 2 places better off, up to 9th. But in the real world, it was St Mirren. I think we actually got a Blackburn Rovers player out on loan on St Mirren, or he was out on loan. I think now he'll be coming back to Ewood Park to maybe get cracking for next season. But yeah, not the greatest season for St Mirren, but Livingston on the flip side did much better than expected. I think they originally had Kenny Miller as boss at the start of the season, but that changed for something a little bit better. Into 10th spot, and I got this one bang on the nose, boys and girls. Hamilton Academicals, or words to that effect. I got the one spot on. 10th spot finish for them. If my mind serves me correctly, that is safe from relegation. I think Dundee go down, 11th go into a playoff, and then 10th should be safe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Into 9th spot we go, and it is St Johnstone. That's who I call, but they finished much better off, 2 places better off, into 7th spot, just above the split. And in the real world, it was Livingston. Obviously finished much better than I anticipated. But realistically, they're in and amongst the mid-cluster lower echelons of the Scottish Premier League. So, you know what? Not too shabby indeed. Into 8th spot we go, and I actually predicted St Mirren to finish 8th. But obviously they finished 3 places worse off. And in 8th spot was Motherwell. Obviously, this is the last position but one for before the split. So we'll take a look at who I thought would finish in 7th spot. And I had Kilmarnock, obviously the surprise package in the Scottish Premier League this season, finishing all the way up in 3rd spot, boys and girls, into Europa or European football spots. So well done for them. Will they keep Stevie Clarke as manager? I don't know. I think Scotland got double dibs on him, so he's probably going to be the new. Because I don't know Kilmarnock's history, but I think that's probably one of their best finishes in a long old time in the old Scotch top tier. So why go out on a high, go out on a bang. You've done an amazing job for Kilmarnock. So well done. I'm sure Stevie G will be happy to see the back of Stevie Clarke as well. So yeah, got that one absolutely wrong. So I called Kilmarnock, but it was St Johnstone. Who've already seen them in 9th spot. So when you look at the bottom half of the table, I've got one team, 2 teams, 3, 4, 5. So I got five of the original 6 in the bottom half of the table. The only team that I got wrong was Kilmarnock, and in their place would be Motherwell. So not too shabby, if you mix them up a little bit, give a good old shuffle, and then it would get close to the money, but not too shabby. So into the top 6 we go, and I actually called it for Motherwell. Obviously we've seen them already. They finished in 8th spot. I got them down as 2 places worse off. into eighth. In the real world, it was Heart of Midlothian. Obviously, they just scraped into the top tier or top half of the Premier League after the split, if you know what I mean. So yeah, not a great season for the Hearts, but to be honest with you, it was a tough old slog at the top of the table. Moving into fifth spot, I actually called Heart of Midlothian. So obviously they finished one place worse off in sixth. In the real world, it was Hibs. Obviously, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Hibs. You know, that's my old man's team. So they for me, I called them a little bit higher. Now, here we go, folks. I got a lot of flack for this, and probably deservedly so. I actually called for Rangers. That's right, being in fourth spot. Obviously, they had a pretty good season under Stevie G, finishing in second spot now. The method behind this madness was Stevie G's first role in management. It just felt a little bit weird, you know. Rangers, you know, chopped and changed their managers a whole bunch last season. There was a lot of animosity within the club, a little bit with some of the players, and it just didn't feel right. Obviously, Stevie G came in, brought in some own players, brought in some young, hungry talent as well to keep up the pressure with the experienced fellas. And then obviously Morelos did an absolutely amazing job scoring the goals. Obviously he's a little bit hot-headed as well. So yeah, I hold my hand up and I got this one absolutely wrong, folks. So as for next year, I do think if Stevie G sticks around, they can build on this. And obviously with the loss of Brendan Rodgers, I think Celtic will be much weaker than they have been. Obviously Neil Lennon likes to blow his own trumpet and has given himself a bit of a hard on because he reckons he's the next best thing in Scotland. So I'm not that sure about that. I think Lennon will struggle to keep up the sort of pace set by Rodgers. Obviously he had a bit of a cushion himself. So yeah, but we'll talk about that obviously between now and the next batch of predictions for the Scottish Premier League. Things can change. You never know what with Stevie G, he might move on. I don't know. I'm just saying he did a good job. He's boosted his manager CV already with a season in Scotland. I expect him to stick around, but we'll have to wait and see. So I called Rangers fourth. In the real world, it was Aberdeen. But next up for me, to third spot, it was Hibernian. That's who I called. Obviously, they finished in fifth spot, so 2 places worse off. Kilmarnock obviously finished in third place. Had a tremendous season for them, and again, it could be the sweet end for Stevie Clarke. And I, as a half Scotsman, I would love to see him manage Scotland. It's definitely a breath of fresh air when compared to Alex McLeish, Gordon Strachan, and co. So this would be a good appointment if you Derek McInnes would also be a good appointment as well. But I think he's the younger. Is McInnes the younger? But either way, it's good to see two. What's the word? Young and coming, or sort of not aging Scottish managers who have already expressed their passion to manage Scotland. So for me, I hope Clarke gets confirmed, and then maybe McInnes can take over the reins in about 5-6 years time or something, because we need a good long crack of the whip here with Stevie Clarke in charge. Anyway, so I called Hibs. Obviously they finished in fifth. Come on, into second spot. Obviously the top two, I think the majority of people called Celtic for number one. I am going to hold my hand up as well. I did do that, but who did I pick for second? I actually called Aberdeen. That's right. They have been knocking on the door over the years, but this season they kind of fell short a little bit, obviously, with Rangers being a bit more dominant than they have been in recent years. Kilmarnock upsetting the apple cart as well, coming into third spot. So Aberdeen finished in a quite low fourth spot in the old table, but still, you know, a really good season for Aberdeen, since, you know, it wasn't that long ago where they were struggling big time. So they've turned the ship around. But anyway, we're going to wrap this puppy up and tell you who was number one. Obviously, it was a runaway lead. Celtic have been pretty much dominant the whole season with Rodgers, and then obviously when Rodgers left for Leicester, Lennon came in, picked up the pieces, and yeah. But moving forward, I think next season will be interesting. I think Hibs have got a good manager with what's his chops, Heckenbottom. I think he did an okay job at the back end of the season. Obviously, Rangers with Stevie G, Celtic as well. McInnes at Aberdeen. I don't know what's going to go with Kilmarnock. If Clarke boy sticks around, then maybe they can compete once again. And that's the thing with Kilmarnock. Obviously, if European football wasn't on the cards, I think it would be a straight up no-brainer, and Clarke would be Scottish manager. But maybe the lure of European football might keep him to stick around. But anyway, that is that, and we'll take a look at the Scottish Premier League 2019-2020 early door predictions at the back end of July. But until then, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the thumbs up. And if you do, smash the subscribe. And while I still have you, check out the old description. Links to my other social media platforms are in there: Twitter, Facebook, and of course the hotly released Patreon page, boys and girls, where you can offer me some support in other ways other than your viewership. If you want to check that sucker out, there's a link to that bad boy in the description below. For as little as $1 a month, you could be supporting the bandwagon and join the VIP exclusive gang. And that is my Patreons. But anyway, folks, that's going to wrap this sucker up. Put your own thoughts and opinions about the Old Scottish Premier League this season. Was it a good one for your team? Obviously, Celtic ran away with it. What do you expect next season? Do you think Stevie G will stick around? Or do you think there'll be some big old shake-ups in the Scottish Prem? What about Neil Lennon? Is he the man to push or keep Celtic on top? Or will they mix it up and bring in Rafa? Or somebody like that. It's a lot of big names linked with a job, but Lennon is still the man in charge at the moment. But anyway, until then, I'm going to get out of here. Thumbs up, subscribe. Ciao for now. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.